It's time once again for the Kennett Indian Coaches Show as we visit with Kennett Indian head baseball coach Aaron New. And, Coach, I know it's a busy time of year, always a busy time for baseball coaches when you talk spring. And your ball club coming down a stretch where you're going to be competing in the SEMO Conference Tournament, and you've had some tough recent losses. And I know your team's still working hard, just trying to get better and try to get that big win.
Yeah, well, I think we are getting better. The problems that we're having is we're not getting better at the time to win moments. We feel like this week against pretty good competition that we basically handed 2 games away that we had in our grasp and we could have won. So the frustrating thing about it is the kids are working extremely hard, and we're in every game, and we just can't find a way to come up with that big play in the field or get that big hit.
When that happens and when you have so many young players that are seeing their first varsity experience, and that's what your team has this year, you look at all the sophomores, and then you look at for instance, the Notre Dame roster yesterday, senior. These guys have been playing, varsity baseball for a while. And sometimes it's just a learning curve for these guys that come up from JV and get their first varsity experience, and the pressure gets more and more on them when they're not successful.
Yeah, I think we talked about last time how this is a pretty tough league to kind of get thrown to the wolves and go out there and have to play it in the SEMO conference. But it's like I told the kids yesterday, we're three-quarters of the way through our season now, and some of you young guys, our excuse of we got a bunch of young guys out there is going to have to go by the wayside here pretty soon because we've got a lot. We're getting more experience. And again, like I said, we are as a team getting better. We just need to get better in the big moments and make the routine play or come up with a big hit in the big moments.
Well, you continue to shuffle some things around back to, more or less your standard lineup yesterday. But I know you had Caleb Duncan in the outfield, and he's such a good athlete. He's going to be able to play an outfield position. But, you're still looking for that right ingredient where you can plug and play these guys and get some production.
Yeah, and I think I've said this before. A little bit of this is my fault. It's hard for guys to not get comfortable and not be in a routine and know where you're playing every day, but we just haven't found that right combination. We love Caleb's athleticism. We put him out there against Dyer County, and the first fly ball hit to him was a line drive in the gap, and he ran it down like he'd been doing it for 4 years for us. So we're still looking for that combination. I'd like to find it soon. I think getting closer. It's getting conference tournament time, and that's about the time you need to start figuring some things out. So hopefully we'll get some things lined out here as we go into next week.
Well, Hayden Gilmore, with the start against Notre Dame yesterday as we record this on Thursday afternoon after your team had batting practice, and we'll talk a little bit more about the adventures at Indian Park that you had earlier today. But, Hayden, again, a great pitching performance. He went in there and battled against Notre Dame, but the pitch count gets high, and he's just not able to go real deep in the ball games. Yeah,
that's been the issue so far. I thought he turned the corner a couple weeks ago, and then the next outing he kind of had some control issues, and then Thursday I think he didn't get out of the 4th inning, but he'd only give up one hit. He hadn't given up a run when he came out, so I think he'd give up 1 run, but it was unearned. So again, it was a pretty good performance, and then here comes Kate Anderson in there, did a good job. I want to say, Ms. Perry, I want to compliment Coach Lou Allen, and I want to compliment our pitching staff. If you go back and look at our pitching numbers, they have been pretty solid all year long. We haven't played great defense behind them. It's kind of got them at time and some trouble at times, but they've thrown the ball pretty well as a staff as a whole, and I think that's a reflection on the job Coach Lou Allen does with our pitchers.
Oh, I totally agree, and that's one of those things that when you need pitching, and you're going to need pitching, playing in, the tournament atmosphere of a SEMO conference tournament and games back-to-back. But you see guys like Kate Anderson coming in a pressure moment against Notre Dame yesterday and really did a good job, kept your team in the, in the ball game there. And, what Cash Franklin did on the road at Dyer County against, one of the top teams over in Western Tennessee and held them at bay. But, these young guys are really stepping up and doing the job also for you.
Oh, Cash did an outstanding job. He's in the 6th inning with a shutout going against 3A level competition over there in Dyer County, a good team. He's done a great job for us all year long. Hayden Wilson's a guy that's kind of coming on. He's kind of been a JV guy. We've run him out there a couple times in the varsity games, and he's starting to do a really good job. Crafton Binkert's come in some and has done a good job for us at the varsity level a couple of times. So the pitching staff has been solid. They're giving us chances to win the game. Now we've got to be able to make that play behind them and come up with that big hit. We talked today with the pitchers, and one criticism, it's really not a criticism, we really haven't been able to pitch our way out of an error. We made a little error there at Dyer County, and then we couldn't make a big pitch after that to pick up our teammates. So that's something that we addressed today, and we hope going forward that, if a teammate makes an error behind the pitcher, then he comes in and makes a couple good pitches there and picks his teammate up. We've just not kind of reached that level yet.
Well, and also we talk so often about a good offense can overcome some of the deficiencies out in the field, and with your ball club not scoring just a ton of runs on the average this season, just so much more important to be able to make those plays, the routine plays that need to be made.
Yeah, that's right. Offense, we were kind of on the uptick. We got off to a horrible start offensively, and we kind of got on an uptick, and then past 2 or 3 games here, we've kind of struggled a little bit offensively. Although I do think against Dyer County, we did enough offensively to win that game. We got a couple bunts down. We put a little pressure on them. So we had really good batting practice today. Hopefully we'll turn over some good at-bats tomorrow. And then hopefully I can figure out where everybody plays and I can get our defense to settle in and get comfortable.
Well, Coach, you have the ball game against Brookland. That's going to be another good ball club coming into Indian Park on Friday. I know we have some rain forecast, and before I did the softball broadcast on Thursday afternoon, I looked over at you guys, and the team was out there and all the coaches, and you were dragging the tarp over the field, and I think Coach Penn said, I'd love to have a picture of them putting the tarp. I didn't think it would ever happen, but you guys are wanting to play, and you need to play to get better, and you got that tarp, and with hosting the district tournament, I guess it's a good opportunity for you to learn how to put the tarp on and off the field if you have to.
Yeah, Dr. Leaker was really adamant about getting us this tarp, and we're really going to enjoy it. It's going to help us out, like you say, with the district tournament. It was just a new experience for us because we got 19 young men that's never done it before. And we had about a 10-mile-an-hour south breeze we were pulling it into. So I was afraid we was going to lose it on the first day. But luckily we got it down. Now getting it off might be an adventure tomorrow, depending on how much rain we get. But I think unless it's raining at game time, I think there's a good probability we'll get to play tomorrow in Indian Park. Well, that is great news. And I'm sure you would take volunteers if there's any out there that want to come out and drag that tarp off and help you get it rolled back up. Yes, text Dr. Ronnie Lou Allen and tell him you're ready to help with the tarp tomorrow. The tarp crew volunteers, they're needed. Yes. Well, Coach, good luck. Hopefully we'll have baseball Friday afternoon at Indian Park, and then SEMO Conference Tournament just right around the corner, and the final third of the season coming up. Good luck to you, and we'll talk to you again next week. All right. Thank you, Mr. Perry. All right. That's Coach Aaron New, head coach, the Kennett Indian baseball team.